How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. Today we're going to talk about the one really high risk but has a chance of a very high returns comic that you should buy. And this is kind of a speculation, but not really at the same time. And I'll go through all the data points why I think this is going to be extremely valuable down the line. And I'm, of course, talking about Invincible Iron Man number 9, the variant edition, the Horsemen of Apocalypse edition. And just so you know that I'm all about this stuff, here's one, got a 9.6, got another 9.6, got a 9.6, a 9.2, and a 9.4 of this. Sorry, this is all over the place. I got so many of these. You know, this is 9.6. I don't have any 9.8s, but I got a lot of 9.6s, 9.4s, 9.0s, all sorts of stuff, raw copies, all that stuff. So let me explain where I think this will go. And I know it's already pretty expensive. I know, I understand that. But let's talk about where this could lead to. So if we go over here, all right, let's look at Ultimate Fallout 4, right? Now this is a very similar book. You got an Iron Man, you got a Spider-Man, right? You got a 9.8 running for 31,000. That's too much. But this is where I think it can go, 20 grand for the variant. And you might be like, well, that's kind of high. So let's see what they're actually selling for. All right, Ultimate Fallout 4, you're running around 25 grand, or 25,000, or 2,500, sorry, geez, for a 9.8. But let's look at the variant version. Most recent sale, 25 grand. So about 10 times what the variant or what the normal one is going for. So, you know, you can look at it right here. 2,500, 25 grand. Let's just talk about 9.8s. Now let's look at Invincible Iron Man number 9. You got the variant edition selling for 5 grand, and most recent sale is about 900 for a non-variant version. And you're thinking, okay, well, Miles Morales is much more popular than Riri. True. That's a good point, right? But here is the thing. The actress is already in contract for multiple Marvel films. So she's going to be in, I believe, the Wakanda movie. And they're probably gonna see how she does. Maybe probably some TV shows. I think they're gonna push her pretty hard because Tony Stark is kind of gone. And I think this comic has the potential to go up to the values that we see for Ultimate Fallout 4, which is 25,000. And right now, it's kind of a good deal. That's why I bought a bunch of them. And I'm stashing them away, and I think this is going to hit. And I'll explain to you more data why. Okay, so if we look at Ultimate Fallout 4, it had a print run of 91,000. And the variant was 1 in 25. So if every single person that ordered one actually ordered enough of 25, there would be technically about 3,600 variants out there. But you know that's not true. There's probably a lot of comic shops that only order 10 or 5 or maybe 15. So lots of out there. I would say it's safe to say there's between 1,000 to 2,000 of the Ultimate Fallout 4 variant. And if we look at the census for Ultimate Fallout, we can see that there is currently almost 10,000 of the regular. So like I said, there's 91,000 printed, so 10,000. And there's currently 1,500, roughly. There's some signed copies, and there's probably some ghost copies too. But let's say 1,500 variants out there. Oh, my bad. I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry, 721. That was my bad. Variant edition, 721 of potentially, maybe 1,000, 2,000, somewhere in there, I would say. The most they could possibly have is 3,500, but I'm pretty sure not every comic shop ordered all 25 to get that variant. So probably 15 to 2,000 is probably a more safe number, maybe even 2,500, somewhere in there. All right, but there's been 721 graded. Okay, now let's look at Invincible Iron Man number 9. And here we have Comicron, which catalogs all the print runs as well. Invincible Iron Man number 9, it had only a print run of 49,000. 49,000. I do not know what the variant. I looked what the retailer incentive was. I looked everywhere. I couldn't find it. If it's 1 in 10 or 1 in 25. But let's say it's 1 in 10. You're looking at about 4,900 at the most. Almost close to what the Ultimate Fallout 4 was. But let's say it's 1 in 25. You're looking at about 2,000. So, but not everyone comic shop is going to order enough. So you have to consider that. So you're looking at probably about the same or a little less than the Ultimate Fallout 4. And let's see how many have been graded so far. All right, so the variant edition, you got 418 graded. Think about that. That's about half. Right around half. So you got 721 graded of the Ultimate Fallout 4 version variant, and you only got 418 graded of Invincible Iron Man number 9 variant. So yeah, about a little over half, maybe 60%. So it's even more rare. So now it comes down to, okay, we established that this is more rare than Ultimate Fallout 4 variant. There's less graded on the census. There's probably less that ever existed to begin with. So there's a good chance that this could be close to, if not rarer, than the Ultimate Fallout 4. And once again, if we look at the Ultimate Fallout 4 variant, it's selling for $25,000. Back in the day, it was, let's look at it like its history. I'm going off 9/8 here. Obviously, it was nothing. And then, pretty much in 2020, it just spiked because he has his own movie, the Spider-Verse, all sorts of stuff. So my speculation is, what if they do the same thing that they did with Miles Morales, but do it with Riri, right? And in case you didn't know, Invincible Iron Man 9 is first full appearance of Riri, who becomes Iron Man or Ironheart later. 7, she did first appear, right? But someone had a good analogy. It's almost like Hulk 180 versus Hulk 181. So Invincible Iron Man 9 is kind of like Hulk 181. Invincible Iron Man 7 is kind of like Hulk 180. So that's how I kind of look at it. But nonetheless, obviously going sky high, right? And it's been 6 sales of it this year. 14,000, 13,000, 13,000, 12,000, almost 16,000, and 25,000. If you look at the sale, I think this was on Comic Connect, so legit sale. So now that we have established it's rare, and we established where it could go, I think it's a pretty good deal. Now, does that mean you should go out and spend $8,500 for a 9.6? That's tough to say. Some of these people, here's one for $6,000. Here's one in here. Here's a 9.8 for $4,200. I would pass on the CBCS 9.8. I just don't really go for CBCS because if I cracked it out and resent it to CGC, there's a chance it could come back a different grade. And so you might as well just buy this one, right? This 9.8 up here as opposed to going with that one. Not that many available. I bought a bunch of them over the last couple weeks and about a month ago, I think I started buying them because I'm looking at it and I'm just looking at the potential of where it could go, right? There's this one that's ungraded that I've been looking at, and after looking at all the pictures, they call it a near mint. Could be close to a near mint. I would agree to that, but it's kind of hard to say. But again, you could probably get this 9.6 as a best offer. You could probably get it cheaper and it's guaranteed the grade, So that's where I'm kind of at with this comic book. I think it's a good deal. I think it has the potential to be up where the Miles Morales is. And I know Miles Morales is a different character and more popular. I get that. But if Marvel really pushes Riri in the MCU and all that kind of stuff. Because here's the thing that people don't realize, that Sony actually owns Spider-Man, the movie rights to Spider-Man. So and every Spider-Man thing. That's why Edge of the Spider-Verse was actually a Sony production. So all Spider-Man stuff. The MCU is allowed to use the Peter Parker Spider-Man in their movies, but I don't know what their deal is going forward now. After this movie comes out, it might be kind of the end of it. They have to do a re-deal. And so anyways, so you're not going to ever see like Miles Morales in like the MCU, but you will see Riri in there. So that could push her to a whole different level. And like I've established, this book is potentially rare. It has all the markings to be up to the point where Ultimate Fallout 4 variant is. Now, if you're asking me, oh, well, what about number 7? Well, I have a bunch of 7s here as well. But 7s are a little cheaper. So I also got the variant of number 7, just in case. But those are fine. Like, I'm not saying that they're bad or anything like that. Like, if you can't afford the number 9, you can go for a 7. You got a variant for $1,200, and you got, a 9.8 normal for $400, roughly. So that's fine. You can go for that. There's also other ones that are keys, like this one. So there's a lot of different keys that you can get. But I would definitely try and get the Invincible Iron Man 9 variant. And also get number 9 too. I have number 9. This is the second printing. But I have 9s, first, second, thirds. I have a bunch of them. I've been picking them up. But the one I'm most bullish on, the one I think has the most potential, is getting that variant edition. Now you might ask, well, why, David? Why don't you pick up some of these 9.8s that are over here? For $4,000 or something like that. The issue is, like, if I bought this, I'm sitting on them, and I'll have to sit on them for a long time. And throwing $4,000 for me to sit on, I'm not in that position quite yet. So if a good deal rises, if I can get one for a little cheaper than that, yeah, I'll jump all over it. But right now, I'm like, I kind of spent all that I need to spend on the variants, as you've seen before. And they've kind of got a pretty high price where it's, I have to take these books and I have to hold them back. So that costs money, and that ties up money that I'm just sitting on, right? So it's like, I definitely have enough. I have a lot, and I have a few more coming in. So it's not like, I don't have any. If I had none, yeah, obviously I'd buy some. But I have enough where, I'm hedging my bets on it. And there obviously is risk. Like, what if Riri comes out and no one likes her and they shelve her, right? That's very possible. So I'm going to hold these and wait and see. I know I was talking with someone, and they're talking about, it's like, oh, do people think that you would pump a book just to dump it later as soon as everyone buys? I'm like, no, why? I'm not going to pump this and sell for a little bit more. That's not worth it. To me, these books are going to be worth a lot more in 3 to 5 years. So me just selling them now for a quick few bucks is not going to help me out, because I'll have to buy them back, because I think this thing is just going to keep on going up. What I'm going to do, though, I have a bunch of them. Whenever a good deal slowly comes around and I see one, I'll pick it up. So I'll wait for that good deal to come around, and I'll just add more to my collection as time goes on. So that is one book I think that you need to own. I'm pretty, like I showed you, I'm pretty bullish on this one. I think it's a good get right now while it's still low, because it wasn't that popular. Obviously, there's been some movement in the movies and stuff like that. Stupidly, I probably should have picked it up months ago, many, many months ago. But it is what it is. I still think it's a good deal now, and I think it still has lots of room to grow. So that's the one book that I'm pretty bullish on right now, that I think that you need to get, that variant. The non-variant version is still good, but it'll be like, let's look at Ultimate Fallout 4. You're looking at about $2,500 for Ultimate Fallout 4. And right now you're about $900, $800 for Invincible Iron Man 9. I don't think that Invincible Iron Man 9 might double as the normal kind, but I think the variant will go much higher, because people are going to start realizing it's much more rare. Like I said, It's, has nearly half the amount of submissions out there. It has a total of 116 and a 9.8. And what does Ultimate Fallout 4 have? 10,000? Ultimate Fallout 4 has 3,000. 3,000 and a 9.8. Out of 10,000 graded, there was 91,000 made. So basically a third-ish have come back 9.8s, while as an Ultimate Fallout, Invincible Iron Man 9, you're looking about 800, here we go, 1,700 of the 49,000. So still a lot more to go. But yeah, I think, let's see the variant of this one. There's 169 of the variant of Ultimate Fallout 4 in the 9.8 and 243 of the 9.6. And here we got 116 and 163. So definitely more rare. And I still think there's raw copies of both out there. But I think this will end up I think in the end this will end up being more rare. So that's my take. Let me know what you think of this one spec. All right. Thanks.